Representative Court.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Ken Gordon's stories. Thank you, Senator Stedman. I knew Ken, as Senator Stedman did, for many years before I decided to run for a seat that, before the lines were redrawn, he had represented. So I knew that I needed to go and talk with him to ask for his support for my campaign. Well, all of you know what I think is the most important issue in Colorado, our Constitution. So I went to meet with Ken, all loaded up to tell him how important the mess in our Constitution is. And we sat down, and I started in about the Constitution, and everything that I had to say about the Constitution. And Ken very politely listened to me, and then he looked at me and he said, "Lois, that's not the most important issue." I said, "It's not? How can you say that?" He said, "The most important issue is the corrosive, pernicious influence of money in politics." And I said, "Yes, but to get back to the Constitution." And he said, "That's an important issue, but," well, I won't bore you with the hour-and-a-half long conversation where he told me what was most important and I told him what was most important. Needless to say, by the end of the conversation, guess who won? Ken won. And I then took what many of us have learned to call the Ken Gordon Pledge. I will not accept PAC money. So I said, okay, that's the way I'll proceed. Frankly, colleagues and former members and public and family, I wasn't so sure about that. I didn't know in my gut, like Ken knew, that that was the most important issue at the time. But I thought, okay, I'll run with it. So I went out on the campaign trail, and I started incorporating into my speeches, oh, and by the way, I don't take PAC money. And I started saying at the door, by the way, I don't take PAC money. I was shocked by the response in East Denver when I said those words. So that's when I learned something that Ken Gordon taught me without intending to teach me per se, and that is that leadership goes both ways. To be a good representative, we have to listen clearly, actually pay attention to what our constituents tell us matters to them. But we also need to tell them passionately what we know matters. And as I went door to door and talked with people and gave speeches, I found out how passionately Ken had represented the people of his district about what mattered to them and about what mattered to him. I understood that good representation is not just coming here and working on all the bills we work on and all the issues we work on, but good representation is helping people understand how we function, what matters at the core of our government. As Senator Stedman said, Ken cared about public service more than anything. He cared about good representation. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are going to tell us a lot of wonderful stories about Ken, and believe it or not, I'm going to finish. I know you can't believe I'm going to stop talking, but I'm going to. I'm going to end by saying, Ken was my friend. I'm going to get through this. He was my mentor, but the highest honor I can give Ken is to tell you that he is the kind of representative, he was the kind of representative that I and all of us should aspire to be. Thank you.